Tens of thousands of people took to the streets in Georgia last night to protest the local elections, and actually most of the opposition parties and the protesters boycotted these elections, not going to the polls, not taking participation in the vote. Of course, this is their way of showing that the government is illegitimate. That's what they claim. We saw scenes culminate here in front of the presidential palace of violence where the protesters tried to storm the building. They ripped down the barriers, and we saw also the heavy police reaction using water cannons and tear gas to disperse protesters, which later culminated in a very peaceful gathering in front of the parliament. Now, Georgia is at a bit of a crossroads right now. They've been so for 311 days now. There are still protests taking place in front of the parliament, and the protesters are demanding the removal of the government because they claim this government is pro-Russian and illegitimate and stomping on their rights, and of course not allowing the freedom of expression and normal freedoms that we see in democracy. This all started when the government broke off accession talks to the European Union, and this is why people have been protesting for so many days now here in Georgia. But whether these protests will cause any real change in the government or allow the government or make the government step down is yet to be seen. Of course, there are no real leaders. There is no clear leadership from the opposition, which makes this struggle and these protests very difficult to culminate in any meaningful action here in Georgia. We will see whether these protests continue or not, or whether there will be any change in government in the time to come. But for now, these attempts to topple the government have been unsuccessful. Reporting from Tbilisi, Don Arleth, TVP World.